Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago's very own Chuck Salvo.
Thank you. Good evening. Sometimes when I'm down and all alone, just like a child without a home, the love you bring me keeps me hanging on, honey. All I ever need is you. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Chuck Salvo. We don't have any grandparents out there, do we? See if you agree with me. One of the nicest things about being a grandparent is watching your kids getting aggravated by their kids. My wife and I have 7 grandkids. She's taking a pill so we don't have any more. And my grandson, this true story, my grandson's 4 years old. He went to get a haircut. And the barber said, "How would you like your haircut?" And he said, "Like my papa, except leave the hole out of the back." Where would we be without our grandkids, huh? Acapulco, Puerto Rico. Oh. I've got 3 of them down in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know anybody here from Louisville? A few. Hey, how you doing? And it is pronounced Louisville, right? Not Louisville or Louisville. Louisville. My wife and I had a discussion when we were down there. She's going, "No, it's Louisville after King Louis V." I says, "No, it's pronounced Louisville." So a gentleman was crossing the street, and I said, "Sir, pronounce exactly where we are phonetically right now." And he looked at me and went, "Burger King." Anyway, I've got three grandkids down in Louisville, and being of Italian descent, I never thought I'd see the day where my beautiful Italian grandkids would walk up to me and go, "Hi, Paw, how y'all doing?" You know, you got to do exactly what you're doing right now. You have to laugh. That's what I told my son when he got married. You want to stay married a long time? Have a sense of humor. Your wife ever argue with you, you just look her in the face and laugh. We'll see how long he lives, huh? Gotta be nuts. My wife and I are married 46 years, and I am not going to make fun of marriage, because in all that time I found no humor at all to marriage. Should listen to my mother, I'd have my own parish by now. Some of the guys can agree with what I'm saying, right? No matter what kind of girl I ever brought home, it was never good enough for my little Italian mother. I'd bring home a girl, she'd look at her. "She's too tall." I says, "Ma, she didn't even get out of the car." "She's too short. She's too fat. She's too skinny. Go find a nicer girl, like me." So I got dressed and went and found a girl that not only looked like my mother, she acted like her. Walked like her, talked like her, cooked like her, dressed like her. I brought her home, my father didn't like her. But my wife and I, we like say 46 years, went by like 10 minutes underwater. Every morning she's looked at me. "Before we were married 46 years ago, you said you love me so much you'd die for me. What's taking you so long?" "You're going to drive me to my grave. I got the car out in 10 minutes, you know. There's room for your brother in the back seat." I know she's related to her brother. They were at this local shopping mall, you know, where you walk in. And I did just done a show down in Florida, in the Villages. I don't know if you're familiar with it down there. Wonderful, wonderful community. And my wife told her brother that, and her brother, they're looking at the moon. And he said, "I wonder what's further, Florida or the moon?" My wife looked at him and went, "Duh. You could see the moon from here." Now, when you go into these malls, they have a board with a map and a little red dot that says, "You are here." My wife looks to her brother and goes, "How does it know we're here?" Wait, my brother-in-law goes, "I don't know. I tried to fool it last week. I came in on the other end of the mall." You gotta be nuts. Nothing makes sense. A woman in Los Angeles shot her husband with a bow and arrow because she didn't want to wake the kids up. Personally, I love to drive people nuts. I drive my wife nuts. Try it, guys. I smiled in my sleep. She thinks I'm out having fun without her, and boy, does that tick her off. She'll wake me up out of a sound sleep. "Where are you at? Who are you with? What are you doing?" "I'm here. I'm with you, and I got gas. You want me to prove it?" No. I drove Mayor Daley's office crazy about, 10 or 15 years ago that we had a great big flood in Chicago. And they hit when they were drilling for a piling, they went through a catacomb and all kinds of basements got flooded out here. Anyway, I called his office every day for about 3 weeks going, "I was wondering if Marshall Fields was open." Good? I'd love to do that to Joe the plumber. You know, after a good rainstorm, have him put in a sump pump and call him up. "You know, I got water up to my fanny over here. This thing isn't working at all." Or better still, to a nurse after an enema, "It's working real good." "You better stay back, because if I cough, I'm going to redecorate this whole room." As I say, for my Italian friends, as they say in Italian, "Salute Jindan," which means 100 years of health and prosperity. In Polish, for my Polish friends, "Na zdrowie," or 100 lat. In German, "Prost durch Szkol." In Jewish, for my Jewish friends, "Lichem," or "L'chaim," "L'chaim." See how you can goof things up? You put the wrong infliction on the wrong syllable. My father always did that. He was from Italy. Typical Italian, 4'2", 210 pounds. Wore a chain so he knew when to stop shaving. Could you imagine being that short? I mean, every morning waking up, finding your feet right here. He always had problems with the English language. One time he walked up to me and he went, "Hey." That's the way Italians start conversations. Unless you go to college, then it's, "Hey, you." He says, "Tell me, what's a polar bear?" I says, "A polar bear, that's a four-legged animal. He's got white fur and he eats seals." And he goes, "I'm not going to be one." "What do you mean? Last week my best friend died, and for the funeral they wanted me to be a polar bear." God bless you, members of the Moose. Here. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm going to finish the show off with this song that a fellow by the name of Lee Greenwood recorded. Don't forget the veterans. Pray for them. If tomorrow